morning, everyone. It's 51 degrees here in wonderful Lehi, Utah, sunshiny. That's 10 degrees Celsius, and I think we're supposed to be going up to let's see, a high of 67 today, which is 19 degrees Celsius. We've had a little bit of inclement weather, but now it's clearing up, and from what I've been hearing, we're supposed to be in the low 80s come this weekend, which is, well, it happens. Last year we had the 80s the whole month of May, which I didn't like, and then it went on into hundreds, and we had a really hot summer. So I've been happy for it staying more pleasant in May until now. But next week they said it's supposed to go back down into the mid 70s and low 70s. So that's what I'm hoping for a while anyway here in Utah before it gets that extreme hot weather. I'm not a big hot weather fan, so but it is sure pretty. Some beautiful, beautiful blue skies out there today, and some good weather. Anyway, I'm Colette the Highway Stitcher, and I'm here to give you my stitching from the highway and at home, along with some weather from our local area, and as well as some quotes later on at the end, kind of what I like to do. I want to thank you all for joining me. I'm grateful for my subscribers. Thank you so very much. And grateful for questions that are asked of me, and I love to show you my stitching and my lace too, which I will have some lace to show you later. So settle back. It's been 2 weeks, and I've got a little bit of haul, but I have one fully finished object. I have another FO finished object, and I also have lots of stitching to show you, as well as a piece of lace, which I wasn't expecting as much. I think that's why I wanted to get back to like a weekly update, because sometimes I'm surprised at how much stuff I have to gather here for after 2 weeks. But we shall see how that goes. So anyway, on to the FFO. Those of you who follow me regularly know that I was doing both a wedding announcement stitching and a birth announcement. And I got done with my niece's birth announcement. I thought it turned out really nice. So here it is. I love this wood frame. You might not be able to pick it up here, but it has a tad look of a peach, a little bit of a peach color to it. And when I got this framed at Hobby Lobby, when I was there with the lady, we both looked at it and we go, oh my goodness, that's absolutely perfect, because we were pulling out frames. This did have to be custom framed. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a frame there because of the unusual size of it. But it turned out perfect, I think. This is my niece's first baby. And so eventually I'm hoping to get up there and give this to her. If not, I'll send it with my sister, I guess, or something. But I'm hoping I can get up there and see Charlene. She goes by Char. Her baby, she named her Zoe Ann. She was born March 15th, 2022. And an interesting little genealogy tidbit on that. The middle name Ann has been in our family for a long time. My first daughter's middle name is Ann. My mom's middle name was Ann. My grandmother's middle name was Ann, and my great-grandmother's middle name was Ann. So I thought that was interesting when Char picked that one out. And then, but the Zoe is even more interesting because Charlene did not know that Zoe was the name of her grandmother. She just liked the name. And so our maternal grandmother's name was Zoanne. Well, I think she went by Zoanne instead of Zoe. So anyway, a little bit of interesting family history that she's using. And the baby's darling. I've seen pictures of it. So anyway, that's my FFO. So glad that's done. It's a fun pattern. Oh, did not even mention. This is actually called Gabrielle Rose by La Di Da, if you are interested in looking it up. I think they call it that because they put Gabrielle Rose down there, but it's like a birth announcement piece. So, and this was stitched on 32 count It's called OD Designs Barn Owl, and with all the called for overdyed threads. Should remember to tell you what the colors and what the fabric is and everything. Okay, on to my FO. This FO is a Mania Finish, which brings my remaining Mania pieces that I started many, many years ago down to 9 now. So that's pretty exciting. This piece is called Here Lie My Needles by Shakespeare's Peddler. And I decided to change this out some. You know, after you do pieces for a number of years, like in a Mania challenge, sometimes you either get burned out or you just don't really care to do that particular piece anymore. And I was getting concerned because a few of my pieces that are left over for Mania, you know, I'm getting some burnout with them, so I'm trying to figure out ways of dealing with that. And I did like what I had done on this one so far, so I was talking with some friends, and they suggested that I just make a needle roll out of it and just finish it around the lady that I had worked on. So that's what I decided to do. Instead of doing the whole thing with the broken needles and the rest of this pattern, I just ended the pattern, put the border, same border, down the one side of this lady, and put my initials down at the bottom instead of the alphabet, which was going to go across the whole piece. It will be a little bit of a big needle roll, but actually I think that would be kind of cute because it says Here Lie My Needles. And that way I was able to finish it up. I like what I see here, and you know, ready to finish this off. So thank you to those who gave me that suggestion. We were doing I believe I was gathering together with friends on Zoom, and somebody suggested that, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. So this is stitched on a 28 count blush pink Lugana, Zweigart based, though I do not know if it's just a I think it's just a Zweigart fabric, not any fancy dancy fabric. So it has like a slight peach blush to it. As you bring it back, you can kind of see that. So, and I did use the called for colors on it, which were overdyed thread. So this was May 1st. Its birthday was May 1st. I was going to look this up and I didn't, so I will just have to do a guess on this. I don't have the book in front of me. This was probably, because I started this on May 1st, I know it's one of my oldest pieces because I just kept putting it aside and didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I would just work on it every May 1st of every year, so very little got done on it until I got excited and finished it up this way. So I'm thinking my very first Mania was 2018, so I'm guessing this is a 2018 Mania start. So now what, 5 years later? Yeah, it's about needs to be done. And it is done. So congratulations to me, and that's another Mania checked off the list. 9 left, 9 to go. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm on to my whip snail. And my first whip, after I did my last floss tube, I had 2 days before I actually started Mania, because it was the 29th and 30th of April, right after I finished my last video. So I was getting together with a good friend of mine who has my birthday, same birthday, Stitcher Krista Grammer, and she's also a designer, and we got together for several hours on Saturday morning and worked on our birthday sale that we're working on together. We pick a pattern every year, and we work on it all during the year, and we finish it on our birthdays, which both of our birthdays are October 29th. So the piece that we picked this year is Heartstring Samplery Piece Band Sampler. And if you see, this is kind of a monochromatic type of a piece. So I did I did keep it that way, but I didn't do what I typically do on things like this. I didn't do a red or a blue. That's kind of what I'm into. I decided to stitch this in kind of a earthy green fabric from Be Stitched to Me. This is called Through the Stones. I love this fabric. This is a 32 count Lugana. And it's, you know, kind of a green with maybe a gray undertones to it. And so this just pulled me. I felt with the saying of the sampler that it lent itself to kind of a quiet, more serene type of monochromatic. So when I picked this, I had picked this linen totally. I knew that's what I wanted to do for my birthday piece. But I had to think a little bit, and I finally decided to go with sulky thread. And I think this is my first piece that'll be all in sulky. I mean, I've done a couple little tiny ones, but this will be my first bigger one. And the color is a green color, and it's 712. So, and I'm using one strand on this, 32 count. So it works really, really nicely. One strand on 32, I think. So, and of course, this close here, it isn't a really good representation of the band sampler, and the color right there is really good. You can kind of see the green and the color of the thread. And as we were talking, I finished this part of the writing of the band sampler. Oh, I've been smiling. So, Peace Band Sampler is patterned after the some of the words of the old Cat Stevens song of 1971, I believe, called Peace Train. So, and I think that's it on this one. I worked on it and I got, oh, wait a minute, let's see, I got about 347 stitches into that. This is also, will be pulled later this month for my challenge, yearly challenge, because I have 3 pieces that I work on to try to get done. And when I get done, then I can enter another piece into the 3. And I entered this piece last month because I knew I wanted to keep up on it, so it would get done on my birthday. So this will be worked on again at the end of the month. Okay. Let's see here. My outline is not in order, I don't think. Oh, yeah, I'll just turn the page over, Colette. There you go. I always need an outline in my life. Okay. On to May 2nd, which was also a Mania start, which is not done. That is Prairie Life Sampler, which you've seen some of in the past, because it's on my WhipGo board. So it'll be called 3 times, and it's already been called once, maybe twice. I'll have to look at my WhipGo board again, but I know once at least. And my goal for WhipGo is 1,000 stitches in that month. So I've been proceeding along pretty well with Prairie Life Sampler. And like I said, its birthday is May 2nd. And I started this also in 2018 on the first year that I did Mania. I'm stitching this on a 28 count Mystery Antique white before I kept any kind of records. I'm not sure since I did a zigzag around the edge of this. I do not know if it's a Zweigart base or not. So, but I am using the called for overdyed threads for this. And let's see, I got 1,445 stitches towards the WhipGo and Mania. So, and what I did, you would not believe how stitch heavy those trees are. Those 3 trees there is what, and the border line under them that they're sitting on, is what I did for that 1,445 stitches. So you can tell those are quite stitch heavy trees. And to tell you the truth, I was getting a little burned out with this piece during Mania, and I didn't work on it hardly at all. That's why I put it into my whip go. And it's mostly because that first row there is all dense stitch heavy with trees and that cabin. But now I'm to the other side of the pattern. So once I bring that border, that flower border around and down, then I will be on to another section part of this piece. And I like what it is. Let's see. We're going to get into like some of the writing and some of the pictures of the people on Little House. So, and then move down to motifs like Pa's fiddle and you know, flowers. So I'm looking forward to that. I was getting a little burned out with that stitch heavy trees forest. So anyway, this will be called again, at least once more, maybe twice. And so I'm really happy that this is quite an accomplishment for me, especially when I'm getting burned out with Mania pieces, having them for 5 years, that to have this much done. Because when I showed Mania last year, it was like way over here by the half of the house was done, and that was it. So from the house, half of the house over, that little quilt, those couple little trees and the 3 big ones, is what I accomplished this last year. So that's a good chunk of stitching on this Mania piece, which is May 2nd. So that's it on that one. My next piece was May 3rd. I worked on Prairie Life again. That's why I was getting so much stitches on it. I just kept going on. May 4th is also a 2018 start. And it's interesting how most of my Stitch Mania pieces that are left are ones that are near the beginning of the month, for some pieces that I was a little burned out in and that I didn't get a lot of work done as the years went by, except on his actual birthday. May 4th is, of course, May the 4th be with you. So I found this pattern on Etsy. Now, whether or not this person even still after 5 years even has patterns, but I know a lot of people have seen these in this house patterns. So I'm sure they're still out there. There's in this house with Disney and with other types of patterns in the same vein. This one, of course, is in this house. We do Star Wars. So I opted to not do black fabric with the yellow, though that does look kind of pretty. What I'm using is, again, didn't keep good track of colors, but I know this is a Zweigart based Lugana, and because I wrote it down at least on a little slip of paper inside the project bag that it was in. It's kind of a grayish 28 count Lugana. I'm stitching 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads on it, and you can see the block words for it are N310 black DMC. This has been only worked on May the 4th every year, and I want to pick it up more, but it's one of those tedious ones, and I didn't realize. One of my friends actually mentioned to me probably 6 months ago. She said she had to slosh her way through. She had the same one she was doing for her grandson, and she really had to like push her way through it because the block letters got really tedious and boring after a while. This time I did 322 stitches on May the 4th, and I did the we and then the start of the U for use. So anyway, that's what I did on my May the 4th Stitch Mania. Okay, the next Stitch Mania piece I had was actually on May 8th, but I worked on it ahead of time, some also. But I didn't get a whole lot of stitches done on it because I had to put it aside to get some other cell requirement stitching done. So I'm going to be pulling this out in the next couple weeks before the end of May because it was picked as a whip go piece this month, and it's also a Mania piece, so I want to pick it back up again. It's Panoply of Posies, and if you have watched my floss tubes in the past, you know I'm kind of changing this one around. I'm using prim red, whites, and blues in the pattern itself, and I'm going to stitch in words for DAR, which is the lineage association I belong to, called Daughters of the American Revolution, which it is ancestors of Revolutionary War veterans. Anyway, this is the little bit I did. I did 347 stitches on May 8th, which is its actual birthday, and that's the only day I worked on it. And the part that I actually stitched, it's amazing, 347 stitches in that. I would have expected a lot less. It shows you how many there can be in one little section. And the reason why I picked this is because I need to start deciding where I'm going to put some of my words and some of my own designing in this. And so I was sticking to around the edges because I knew I wasn't going to put something right there. So I didn't stitch anything of it in the middle. And this is being stitched on Vintage Country Mocha, 32 count. This is Zweigart base fabric with a beautiful modeling, and my prim choice of red, white, and blue threads, which if you are interested in knowing what those are, I'd be very happy to tell you. My email is below on my video in the box below, so I can let you know what those colors are. They're mostly classic color works with a little bit of sampler threads, so hopefully with the sampler part you can still get them. That's been the difficult ones to get, but yeah, feel free to email me. So anyway, I need to get another, let's see, 600 threads at least into this, so I've got to get working on it again before the end of the month. That was May 8th's Mania. Oh, this was started 2019. I think. So, the 2019 Mania. Okay, now we're going to switch gears, and for a few days I worked on my sal that is called My Home in the Garden. And it's a Hello from Liz Matthews pattern. Love this piece, and generally there's anywhere from 1,400 to 1,600 stitches in each section that I'm doing. This is a sal that I'm doing with some friends. The Instagram tag is Garden Stitching Sal. So if you're interested in joining us, feel free to post pictures there under that Instagram tag. I got 1,308 stitches done on this month. This was stitched on Be Stitched Me fabric, not another sampler fabric. So as you can see, it very, very subtle modeling, kind of more of a cream natural color. And I'm stitching it with the Called For Gloriana silk threads. It's being stitched 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads on the 32 count. And the part that I worked on this month for our section is that Be Skept flower RT, what is that, RST for the letters and the border. That Be Skep was fun. Since we're getting closer to being near the end, we are going to finish this at Stitch West together, our group that started it, which is a retreat that is in the middle of October. So in the middle of October is our deadline date. Knowing how slow I stitch houses, and then there's a lot of cover grass border and regular border on this, I'm going to be going ahead on this. So that's me, because I know that with all of that dense stitching, I will not get it done in time if I don't do that. So, but I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. My friend Brenda, she had decided to continue her border down the other night when we met as a group for our Utah Stitchers, which is a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just work on some of those upside down tulips, maybe a few of those motifs. I don't know, but I am going to go ahead a little bit so that I won't be overwhelmed when it comes to all of this that I have to finish. So this has been a delight to stitch, though. It really has. Even though I'm mentioning the house, I do like houses. I really do. Just sometimes I get a little burned out depending on how big they are. So that part of the cell is done by its date, which our date has been the 15th of the month. Okay, the next piece I worked on actually kind of as a daily 30 for about 4 days. No, actually 3 days. And this is a Mary Engelbright cell that I'm working on with Denise of Black Ribbon Studio. We both love Mary Engelbright patterns, and we were talking back and forth one day, and we decided that we were going to go for it and work on a Mary Engelbright pattern that we choose. We both have the books, and we decided kind of to do an exchange with our Mary Engelbright. This is the pattern that we're doing, To a Friend's House, The Road is Never Long. And when we both get done with our pieces and finish them off, we are going to exchange them. Denise has had some difficult times, a very difficult last couple months. And when I watched one of her last floss tubes, I hit myself over the side of the head because I said, she's working on this. I need to get this out and work on this. And I love it. It's cute and it's fun. But the other challenge stuff was kind of taking precedence over it. So thank you, Denise. You inspired me to get it back out again and work on it. So I worked on it for 3 days, kind of before I picked up anything else of any of my other challenges. And I'm happy to say I got 468 stitches in it. So here it is. What I mostly did is I had started the black here for the frame. So I continued working around the black and, of course, put into the white because I had framed it already with the red. Went around here, finished up this, worked on all those leaves and that flower, and then I also did the back stitching in them, which makes them all pop out. This is a Zweigart linen, of course. You can tell by the line, the edge line there. It's a 32 count white. It looks so even, I'm assuming it's an even weave. I don't think it's linen. And I'm doing 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads on it. So it's so cute. I love this piece. Every time I pick it up, I really love stitching on it. And love that I'm going to finally have a Mary Engelbright piece. So thanks for the incentive, Denise. And I'm pretty excited. It's taking shape. Oh, we have a Sal if you'd like to join. If you have any Mary Engelbright patterns that you love, that you've always wanted to do, join us. It's hashtag Engelbright Love Sal. Okay. So, one other thing. We did change out the colors some. This was actually supposed to be a blue. When I showed you the picture, it was supposed to be filled in blue, but we're filling ours in black. So, sorry I did not mention that when I first pulled it out. Okay, after I worked on that for a few days each at the beginning of my day before I started on a more major piece, I pulled out the Under the Sea Mystery Cell. Finally copied it off my computer, this month's portion, because my friends Sarah, Floss Tube Stitching Mommy, and Shelly, It's Only Stitching. I think that's what it is, Shelly. Every time I say this, and I'm thinking, is it It's Only Stitching? But I forget. Anyway, I've seen them work on this, and I love it. This piece is so cute, but I just had no time up until just a few days ago. So I pulled it out, and I got to working on it again. There is no actual, well, there is a little cover piece for this, but I'm just not bothering showing it because all it shows is each little section as it comes out, and then the rest of the page is kind of blurry. So I'm just going to show you the mystery as it unfolds as I show you the piece of fabric with the stitching on it. Last month, which was the first month, was of course that cute little mermaid and those two dolphins. This month is the little bit I've finished is a couple little waves there above and below that cute scuba diving girl. She's so darling. And behind her will be three little angel fishes. And then below her will be a manta ray. So I do have to get hustling before the 25th when the next one is released, the next section of the cell. I'm stitching this 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads. And this is a hand dyed by a friend. It's a 28 count linen called Cloudy Dawn. And I think this really lends itself very well to this this piece. I mean, it's like you can see the swirls of like the ocean. You know, the ocean is kind of choppy, and there's gray, dark grays, blues, all kinds. And so it just lends itself really well to this under the sea. And I am using the DMCs for this. So it's so cute. I just love this. So after I saw them working on theirs and getting it all done, I thought I have got to pick mine back up. So I had told myself I wasn't going to do any other cells, but I knew with this one that it's just so darn cute that I wouldn't not work on it. I just would have to pick it up and keep working on it. So I'm hoping to get those last few, the 3 little angelfish and the manta ray done before the next release is on the 25th. Okay, and then the last piece I worked on in the last 2 weeks is my May 12th Mania start. This one was also a 2018 Mania start, which I had always loved these patterns. There are several different ones of them. This one's Let's Visit the Southwest, or I kind of call it Spirit of the Southwest. They have a Pacific Northwest one. I know they have a like a New England coast one. I think they have a Southern States one too. And I grew up I was born and raised in California, Southern California, and then I moved here to Utah, and I've always considered myself a Southwest girl, even though I do have roots in other states too. But I love turquoises, love shades of burnt oranges, and this piece just really called to me. So this was the May 12th Mania. Oh, and this is by Ursula Michael. I'm stitching this on a piece of Picture This Plus Mallow, 28 count, which I think lends itself beautifully to the turquoises and the burnt oranges and the burgundies that are in this piece. There's a lot of back stitching in this, as well as quarter stitches and all of that. And that's not something that I generally enjoy that much, except when it starts making a full coverage piece pop, with the looks. But it hasn't really been too bad. I've been kind of enjoying the little bits of back stitching as well as quarter stitching and then some regular. So every time I pull this out, I fall in love with it again. So, and the part that I got done there was I was only halfway through the top border there with the oranges and the blues. So I did all the rest of that border from underneath the E in deserts all the way over to the end. So this is my full width of this piece. And then I also stitched the mountains in the back stitch, the little bit of red strip underneath, those little circles of, which I don't know what those are, but those cute little circles underneath there in the different colors, Southwest colors. And I got 336 stitches on its Mania birthday. So, real pretty piece. And I've lost no, like this one has not become a burden as far as the Stitch Mania piece goes. Every time I pick it up, I always wonder why I didn't pick it up before. But, with all the whips that I have, that's understandable. But I do love this every time I pick it up, as opposed to some of my other remaining Stitch Mania pieces. So that was done on May 12th. So that is the extent, well, it's quite a bit actually, but it's the extent of my cross stitch. So I'm going to move on to my lace. The lace will only take up a small portion, even though it took up quite a large portion of my last week. And it's why I thought I wouldn't get all that much stitching done, which I was surprised at the stitching that I did get done. Because the first 3 days of May, I had a Milanese lace class. And we had a famous Milanese teacher who came from California, Northern California, to teach. And if you had been watching my previous videos, you know that I had mentioned to you that she had several patterns, and I had chosen the owl to do for my lace piece. And I also told you about where I thought I was going to get, and I was very close. I probably would have gotten a little farther, but in talking with my friends, I have a good friend from California, a good lace friend I've known for over 20 years, and she was sitting next to me working on the owl too. And I think during one of the times I was talking to her, I messed up and I had to retrolace, which is like frogging in lace, which I was mad about because I probably would have gotten around the corner of this owl's main like feathers. But I don't want this I don't want these bobbins to fall out all over, so I got to push them in more because I want to leave them in the bobbin holders that they are in so that they don't and I'm going to pull out this is a actually this is called a horseshoe, of course, because what it looks like, but it's used to kind of lift up your threads a little bit so that they don't get caught on the pins. So somebody had asked me that question. So anyway, here she is. Let's see there, that's a good point to show her. With the glare of her pattern, it's kind of hard sometimes to show how it's looking because the light glares on it. Anyway, I opted to do blacks and grays and shades of blue on my owl. And we started at the horns, like the ears there up at the top, and went down and did the beak for the first part, finished that off, and then we went to the face, which is around the eyes there in the blues and the whites, and then the last part we started was the one feather. And that stitch is called an archway stitch with the pretty arches in it. So in the 3 days, that's what I did. And I'm stitching this with Gutermann 100/3 silks, same as I did with the cactus that I've showed you previously. So that's the lace I did last week. When I got back, I set it aside and haven't picked it up since because I got a little burned out. Oops, got to pick up my lace cover. This is my lace cover. It's like all different color hedgehogs. Because the hedgehog is the lace maker's mascot. That's the reason why I have so many hedgehog project covers, so many hedgehogs in my bookcase that I collect, all that kind of stuff, is because it's the lace maker's mascot, because it looks like it has pins coming out of its little back. Okay, now I'm going to go on to my haul and get that taken care of. I went to, after my lace class was over with, that same week on Friday, there was a Fiberfest put on by the Utah Spinners and Weavers, and I was excited about that. I had wanted to go to that for years, and then it just hadn't worked out. I had either been gone, out of state, traveling, whatever. This time I was able to make it, so I went there, and they had vendors, like many different vendors, and I went from booth to booth, had a good time, and I also picked up some stuff, of course. In one of the booths, I picked up some thread, and I took a picture of a pattern on Ravelry that I want to do. It's a vest, and it's a really cute one. And this is Horizon variegated DK weight, and it shows up the color perfectly. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, like Southwesty look. Here's the other one too. I needed two in order to work on the vest. And have I copied the vest pattern off and done this yet? No, of course not. But I want to. So anyway, this is the yarn I'm going to use. And I just love it. It's just so wonderful. So that's one of the things I picked up there. Also, I got a t-shirt too that said Fiberfest, but I didn't bring that in. Also, there was a hand spinner there who had all different sizes of spun silk. And here's some real fine spun silk that she had on a stand, on a like one of those stands that moves around. And I thought, ooh, I want to get this and try this with some of my stitching. So, and this is like almost 300 yards worth of spun silk. So I was hoping to use them on a higher count linen and try them out and see how they look. So that was one of my other purchases there. And then I picked up some pretty knitting needles too, but I didn't bring that in. Next door to the Fiberfest, amazingly, I ended up going to two places at one time, and it cost me $1 between the two. I mean, I'm not talking about the haul I got. I'm talking about $1 to enter the building. With the Fiberfest, they didn't charge anything, but they had a vendor's booth of like gift items, things you can pick up. And I picked up some stuff to give to my husband Chris on Father's Day. But one thing I picked up that some of you who know me would just say, oh, that's Colette, is they had these little blocks with little things that you could put in them. And I picked up some for gifts. But this one says, find the beauty in every day. And that's what I always say at the end of my video is look for the beauty everywhere because it's there. And so when I saw this, my ideas in my head swirled around. I knew I wanted to pick some up for gifts. And when I saw this particular saying, I knew that's what I wanted to have in the one for me. So it's sitting on my desk. So find the beauty in every day. So good choice for me. Some lace haul is my bobbins of the month. I'm still getting the cactus ones. Beautiful hand-painted bobbins, black with the painting of the cactus there. So, just so pretty. The identification of the cactuses and their names and their plant-based name, you know, the long name that you can't read. Echinoceros, or rainbow cactus. And then the other is red edge echeveria. So, I love these. But they are going to be coming to an end, this particular club. Yeah, because Susan, who does this, who gets the bobbins, has lots of different bobbins of the month clubs. And so right now she's trying to work out a thing for a bobbin of the month club that she and I both are going to be really excited about. So we're hoping it can get started by July at the Lace National Convention in Mesa, Arizona. But if for some reason it doesn't come together for the painting of it, then I will pick another one of her clubs, possibly a flowers one, but I'm not sure just yet. And then the other haul that I had is I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, and as if I needed another project bag, but I liked the Blackbird fabric and I liked it in the blue. So there's a project bag maker named Cyrena Stitching. And she had these posted on her Instagram, and I just went on and said, I want that one, and I got it. So it was just so simple and easy. Most of the time I never get them. You know, I'll go on and somebody else has already gotten them. And this one, I just went, oh, okay, good, I got it. Oh, well, I better pay for it. So I like the blues, the blues stitching, stitch letters in the fabric. So I got myself another project bag. Kind of unintentional, but. And then I got my two linens for my two fabric of the month. My color in cotton, which is patina. And this one is just not showing up this one is really more of a very light lavender color, but it keeps showing blue. So, sorry guys. Even farther back, it just shows even more richer blue. Usually my camera picks up things better than that. So just pretend that instead of that blue, it's a lavender, a light lavender color, because that's what it is. And then I also got my Be Stitch Me fabric. This is a blue, so we'll see how this one shows up. And this one's called Rainy Day. Yeah, this is showing up true to color. More mottled. and this mottled kind of ocean blue. Real pretty. So that was my haul for this month. And on to my plans. And I actually do have most of my plans right here. I'm going to move the lace pillow, put it back here, and move my plans up. I do have more Mania pieces to work on their birthdays. And so I'm going to show them to you now, the last few. I have 4 more left, and I'll tell you when they were started and whether I have issues with them or whether they're going to get done in a decent amount of time. One of them is getting stitched on. It will be done, but I don't have a date on that because it is a full coverage piece, and with my full coverage pieces, I love them, but sometimes I'm working on other challenges instead. So, and this one most of you who watch me are quite familiar with, my ragged page of a lace maker. Artwork by Miles Beckett Foster, and it's done by Artisy Designs. And when I started this as a Mania piece, I thought, well, that was really smart, Colette. You'll never finish all of your Mania pieces. But actually, this one will be finished because I have been working on it. I have used it for a Facebook group challenge of a yearly challenge to get 22,000 stitches in it. And last year I got 21,000 stitches. So actually, and I'm not burned out with this one. I love this piece. So this one will probably get done maybe before some of the other ones that I don't like to look at as much for my Mania. I'm not taking this out. Most of you have seen it, but this is what I've finished so far. It's about 36%, though I haven't looked exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's about 36%. I'm doing the typewriter method where I take the highest unworked block of color and stitch it and then cross country down, wherever it may be in the piece. I'm pretty much straight across on a lot of stuff now, and it's pretty even. So now I've got to decide where I'm going to go next. And I'm thinking, since I have it still in the Q-snaps over here, that I will probably work more on this section here, finishing the trees and maybe part of this roof so it looks more like a roof, because this is actually like the back part. If you're looking in the like a head in a picture, you know how they make pictures things look smaller farther back, and that's another part of a chimney, of like this chimney, but since it's farther back, it looks a lot shorter. So I'd like to have that show up, work on this and some more of these trees. And I'll see what I can do as far as stitches. I'd like to get 1,000 stitches on it. And its birthday, since I did not say that, its birthday is May 14th, which is day after tomorrow. And I'm working on this on a 25 count, white Lugana even weave, Zweigart, and I'm doing 1 floss thread over 1 linen thread, a full cross. So love, love, love this piece. So I'll work on it on its birthday and see how many stitches I can get done. So then the day after, oh, sorry about this. This one was started and restarted. So a birthday on it is really hard to determine. I think I actually started this on Mania of 2019 because I know I started it before all the COVID stuff came around. But I know I started it like 3 or 4 different times because I just was not happy. And I don't even want to go into, there was problems with the gridding showing through, which I was bugged at with the white and the light blues for the sky and other things. I was just bugged at that finally, I just told myself, if you're going to do this at all, you have to restart it and forget it and just do it, which is what I did. So it could very well have started 2019, but I really didn't fully start working on it probably more until 2020 or even maybe later than that. So I would put this down as a 2020 Mania start, certainly not a 2018 one, since it was restarted a lot of times. And on May 15th, I also have another Mania piece that was started way back in 2018. I'm not sure why I haven't gotten this one done. It's only been picked up actually on Mania days every year, so very little has been done. I mean, when I show it, you'll think it looks like a fine amount, but for having done it for 5 days in Mania only, so much more of this could have been done, and I love this piece. So we'll see, you know, whether I pick it up during the year for try to get other stitching done on it. It's Count Your Blessings by Long Dog Sampler, as you can see. I pulled these just out of their bags to show you what I would be working on next week, so they're going to be wrinkled and everything. But I'm doing this also on an antique white as a Weigart, as you can see by the orange on the top there. Kind of a see-through linen. I didn't put anything behind it, but you can kind of tell. And I'm using the called for overdyes on it. Every year I would only do just a little bit on it and then put it aside. And I did have a little bit of burnout with it, with the change of colors, because at one time in my stitching life I just hated changing colors. But I've kind of gotten around that by doing a couple different things that I do that have made me fall in love with color changes and the vibrancy of them. So in this last year, this is down for Whip Go Challenge also. So not only is it a Mania piece, it's also a Whip Go piece. So it has gotten a lot more work done on it this year, at least 1,000 stitches, because I think it was picked in January. So that will be worked on Sunday, May 15th, on its birthday. And it's 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads. Okay, and I'll have a break before another Mania piece, and so I'm going to move back to my yearly challenge pieces, which are my 3, which if you know my pieces, Piece Band Sampler is one of those. And the other one is, oh my goodness, I'm trying to Prairie Life Sampler, which I showed a little bit earlier, the little house piece. My 3rd one, of course, is the oldest one, and that's the Mirabilia Garden Prelude. So I'll be working on that to get some of my yearly challenge stitches, or monthly challenge for the yearly challenge stitches on that. And so as you can see, you know, she's getting done, and if you've been watching, last time I worked down there where the dress is really going out far. So I think with her, I'm probably going to I'm not going to do just my minimum 300 for the yearly challenge for this month. I'm going to work on her more often because she's kind of one that I want to get some finishing up done. So I will probably do at least 600, maybe more. So she'll be worked on before my next video. And then I have another Mania piece that was also started in 2018. So as you can tell, a lot of my pieces are the oldest Mania pieces because I did burn out with them and stuff. This is a Hands Across the Sea sampler, Eliza Bell Clocks. I think it had probably barely come out in 2018. I'd have to look it up, but anyway. Fell in love with that bird and everything else. Thought I was just some great sampler stitcher. You know, this is 5 years ago. Hadn't done but one sampler in my life, and it had been on large count. So I got all excited. I had bought some Lakeside linen when it was a little easier to buy years ago. And I got 36 count and proceeded to start stitching on 36 count, which I had never done. And talk about burnout. I was just like, I don't know if I like this or not. And then I realized for my 36 count how big this piece was going to be. Oh, it's going to be huge. So then I got more burned out. So the only time I worked on it was on its Mania birthday, May 16th. So this is all I got done. Again, it was a lot of color changes, so that was bugging me too. I am using the Needlework Plus, the silks. So I do love the coloring on it. They are just beautiful, as you can see. But the only times this has been worked on the last 5 years is on its actual birthday. And I was dreading the over one, and I'm thinking, and I don't dread over one anymore. I actually like it. And actually, I think if I picked this one up and started working on it more, I would actually just have fun working on it now, because as the years have gone by, I enjoy doing these kind of small, these kind of counts and higher counts even. I think I was just looking at the writing there, and I really didn't care for what the saying was and everything else. And then, as you go along as a stitcher and you get more used to things, you think, oh, well, I could just put something else in there. So that's kind of what I'm toying with now. But I think I probably will work more on its birthday. I'm going to work on going across, because there's a big, huge flower that's supposed to be in the middle there. And so I'm going to try to get it all the way across to its other side with its border before I decide what to do with that word part in there. So yeah, it's still going to take a while to do, and I know I'll still get burnt out with it. But when I picked it up to look at it for this week for its Mania birthday, I actually didn't have ambivalent feelings about it. I started getting excited about it again. So anyway, that is May 17th that this one's birthday is, and it was definitely a 2018 start. Like I said, almost all the ones left are 2018. And then I'm going to work on other pieces in between the last Mania start, which is May 19th. I think I'm going to work on Under the Sea, because I want to get that section done. And probably some more on Mary Engelbright. My last Mania piece is May 19th. It's One Nation. This was started 2019, so it's not quite as old as some of my other ones. The problem I'm going to have with this one is I'm going to a stitch gathering with some friends, and I'm traveling. It's in Idaho, and it only takes like about 5.5 hours to get there. But then I'm going to get there, and we're going to be talking, and we're going to go out to eat, and blah, blah, blah. And so it's going to be hard to get some work put into this, but I'm going to do as much as I can do. And since it'll be there, I'm going to work on it over the weekend too, as we're sitting there stitching. So I'm not doing this, and this was kind of being done on like looks like kind of a natural color. Me, I totally went off the wall and decided I wanted something different. So I got this this is like Stormy Night, I think. Zweigart Lugana, where it's printed, where the modeling is printed on the front, and on the back there's no modeling. So, and actually, oh my goodness, it's not Zweigart. Well, it's probably Zweigart based. It's Fabric Flair. I didn't realize it was Fabric Flair. But anyway, the printing is on the front. The back is plain. So I opted for a kind of a gray with a touch of blue look. That's probably, let me see. It's probably pretty close to what the color is. This one I did work on other times. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's a pretty piece. So, and I'm stitching at 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads, and this is a 28 count. And I am using like a combination of blues, and it's probably more like my panoply of posies. This one I can actually tell you the colors I used if you're interested, because I'm only using 3 colors. I'm using Cupid, and that's Classic Colorworks. And I'm using, this is bamboo, I think. Nope, it's chalk. Bamboo is probably what I'm using for panoply posies. And I'm using Gentle Arts or Simply Shaker chalk. And then the blue is Sampler Threads Midnight. So those 3 colors are the extent of what I am using on this. So, with the gray fabric. So far it's been working good. I was a little concerned that maybe some of it would like blend into the background, but it hasn't. The whites show up. So So I'm going to work on this on his birthday, even if I only get in 25 stitches on that actual night. And then I'll work on it the rest of the weekend while I'm sitting with my friends stitching. So after the gathering, I haven't determined totally what I'm going to do, but I will be finishing up challenge stitching. I do have to do that and get my 300 stitches times 8, so it's 2,400 stitches total on whatever of those 3 pieces I choose to do. So I'll be probably going back to Piece Band Sampler and get some more work done on that. So, and if all goes well and I get done with all these, my challenges for this month and stuff, I'm going to pick up my Christmas stocking that I'm doing with Amy. Amy loves toads, and work on that some more too. So, because I've been missing picking that one up. So anyway, now that I'm into an hour on this, got a lot more to show than I thought. I'm going to give you your daily dose of gratitude. So, love this one because of the high-waist stitcher in me. This is by an Emily Kimbrough, and it says, "Remember, we all stumble. Every one of us. That's why it's a comfort to go hand in hand." Shows a dirt road that I love to drive over. But if you take a look at that close and all the pretty scenery, you can see 2 people's shadows and they're holding hands. So anyway, as we go travel our bumpy roads, our smooth roads on the highway, remember that we all stumble, and with close friends, close acquaintances, loved ones, we can hold their hands, and it'll help us get through. So anyway, I love you guys. Glad to be here, and I'll see you probably in a couple weeks, I'm hoping, and let you know what happened, in my stitchy life. So anyway, everybody take care. Hope you have a great day with stitching, with whatever you're doing. So anyway, bye-bye all.